some nice trees alongside these old buildings here. We have a fuchsia to the left and the right. The one on the left is one which grew up spontaneously from a bird dropping and is growing inside the building itself. The one on the right I planted deliberately. I'll need to trim them back before they grow much further out in this path. But along here there are only 2 willows in this shot. That willow there is one willow, and these all along here are basically one willow. Now there was a willow planted just to the left of this window here, this one here, but along here you can, down there you can just make out a thick bit of trunk, which is a branch very early on in its life, snapped and fell over, but was still connected to the original trunk. It then rooted, and this one sprouted up. There was another break from this one, and that one sprouted up, and that third one again, and there was a break along here, you can see, and that went along there, and these ones at the end sprouted up. So although they're now, all the trunks you see here have their own roots, they all stemmed from this original tree here. Now the reason I'm here is because I've let these grow too tall. The wind loading on them in the winter will be quite high. There's a danger that they could be pushed over and take the wall with them. So I've got to cut down some of the height. But I'm coming out here just to film the first bit, just to show you how I tackle taking branches off. Right, let me get set up for this. To illustrate some of the things you've got to be careful of whilst taking off a big branch, I shall take this branch here off and show you what I do. The first thing is, if you cut through a branch right there, what happens is as you get through the last part of the branch, the last bit will have all this weight on it, it'll crack, the bark will tear down the tree and leave some damage, and we don't want that. So what you do is you put a cut under on the bottom of the branch, because you can't cut all the way through from underneath, because when you get halfway the weight of this will press down on your blade and stop your blade from going any further. So you just make a cut here just to cut through the bottom little part of the branch. You then cut it off here, it will break, it will tear, but it'll stop at the cut you made. And then you cut the little stump off and away you go. Let me show you. What I'm going to use for this job is a marvellous thing, this here. Before, if you weren't going to use a proper full-size chainsaw, what you'd have to use is a pruning saw, which is a saw that cuts on the pole, and it's all manpower, and it's a right nuisance. This is just a small handheld chainsaw, and you can get them, various manufacturers make them, so they don't have to be this colour, and they're marvellous. But before using this over my head, there's a very important thing I have to do. Here it is. Put on safety glasses. I did rashly in the past use this over my head without safety glasses. Even with my own glasses on, I got a little bit of the sawdust in my eye, and it stuck to my eye, and it was there for a wee while before I eventually went and got someone with medical training to actually get it out of my eye for me. so I wouldn't recommend it. If the brand of little chainsaw you've got is particularly loud, I would recommend hearing protection as well, because there's no shame in putting hearing protection on, even if you don't need it. It's the only sensible thing to do. Right, having said to cut a part here to stop the thing tearing back, I like to do it a bit further out, and I'll show you why. There we go. And now there we go. One important thing I forgot to point out is, before doing this, assess where the branch is going to fall and make sure it's not going to fall straight in your head. You know, it's worthwhile taking a little time, just don't rush into it. And because I had noticed that the branch headed off out that way, so it would fall over that way. Admittedly on my shoulder and I had to catch it, but that was what's going to happen. Right, now, I had the little stump here. Turns out it didn't tear back too far. But now that I've got it here, it's just a little thing, and I can trim it back further. Oh. Way! That was a bit of a fiddle. There we go. This is why I've got my safety glasses on, because none of this has ended up in my eye. There we go, that was a bit high up, but I didn't want to use a step ladder because that involves getting someone else to hold the ladder for you. And I just have myself at this afternoon. A nice clean cut there. I'll cut these branches off, the horizontal one off, about here somewhere, and the ones going up I shall cut off when I can get some help, so I can have someone steady my ladder whilst I'm up there cutting them. I'll do the rest of these trees, or the rest of this tree, depending on how you want to look at it, and then it'll all be ready for the worst winds of winter when they come in a month or two's time. Very well. If you've enjoyed me showing you how I go about cutting the branch off a tree, then a like, a comment, and or a subscribe would be nice. I shall be back shortly with another video about something else, and in the meantime, have fun till then.